Okay, today we're going to show you a really nice Brown & Sharpe cylindrical grinder. This is a model number 1. This is the smallest in their line of machines. There's a number 2, bigger than this, and a number 3, even bigger than that. So this one right now is currently wired for 220 volts, 3-phase. It has an Accurite DRO on the longitudinal table, not on the cross feed. It has a fold-down ID attachment, and there's a list of accessories that come with this. There's a chuck for it, and there's some other items, some extra wheel hubs. Everything right now doesn't come to mind, but I'm going to go ahead and show you a few things here. I'm going to start it up. When we start it up, the grinding wheel comes on, the workhead comes on. This lever here controls your workhead. The speed of the workhead is controlled with this knob here. Table start is here. And then you see our DRO start to move. These are the dogs here. You can slide these down to get a bigger travel there. Okay, I'm going to close that up a little bit. Your speed of the table is here. Back and forth. Speed. These next 2 knobs give you a tarry or a dwell in case you want this to stay on the end of each reversal before it starts to travel again. So you have the 2 tarries. These 2 knobs here control the in-feed. When we start the in-feed, you have the option of having it feed on both sides of the part, on both reversals of the table, or one or the other, just by shutting one off and leaving the one on. So that's what that is. Over here, you have a sight glass that shows you oil in your reservoir for your lubrication system. Over here you have a sight glass that has a little dripper in there, a little dropper, and you see so many drops per minute falling down. That will let you know that the pump is currently pumping lubricant and that everything is getting lubricated. This machine was completely taken apart, all surfaces cleaned and checked out and put back together, so everything is going to be easy to operate. The table to take your taper out and the workhead to swivel. Have this all set up here. You've got a nice pointer here to tell you that you're on 30 degrees. If you wanted to grind centers, we put a nice wheel on there for you. Let's see what else. I'm going to shut this off because I don't want to get hurt. Table actually has a 2 ratio. When you pull this out and turn it, you get it yourself into a finer ratio. Right now, this is the coarse ratio that moves fairly quick, but if you were going to grind, you could pull this out and engage a very fine ratio for grinding shoulders. The wheel head can swivel, different angles. There's a bolt up here on the deck in the top that you have to tighten up once you find where you want to locate this. And then you also have the whole slide itself. The bottom slide can swivel here. I'm not moving the top now. I'm moving, if you come over here, or, well, it doesn't matter. You can see. Right now I'm moving the whole slide, the whole flat and the V. So if you wanted to put this thing on a 30-degree angle down here, you would have a 60-degree up against your part. You can grind. It would be a true angle head. You'd be able to grind a face or a shoulder and a diameter at the same time, provided you had your wheel dressed across now in this position and you had your workhead back at 0. That's what makes this machine so versatile. Also, this top slide here is mounted on an eccentric plate. Plate is only about 5/8 of an inch thick, and it's eccentric, so as you go in and out with it, as you rotate the plate, you can move this wheel head further back or further forward. Similar to how some machines you can loosen them and move the wheel slide. It's a coarse adjustment of the wheel slide. Brown and Sharpe is the only people that I know that really do it that way. Right now everything is nice and clean and lubricated, and that should be fairly easy for you to do. That's what we try to do here. So your ID unit, you don't want to hit anything, so I got to see what I can do here. Has a little locking tab here that allows this to fold down, and you always have to put your belt back on. Having a little trouble with the belt. These spindles on these Brown and Sharpes just mount on this bracket here and slide back and forth. So that's how you would take the tension out of the belt and then pull it forward and lock it down. Okay, so now you want to switch this switch over here from external to internal, and when we start up the machine, we're going to have the ID spindle on. So that's how that works. You see how far out I am right now from the center of my spindle, workhead spindle. I may not have enough. You may not have enough movement to go backwards. If you were to run out of movement, then you would want to work with that eccentric plate to give yourself more backwards travel. This here is your stop. There's a dead stop right here. When it's retracted like I have it right now, you have a zero stop at zero. You start from here. This is your full amount of travel on this machine, automatic travel. Automatic infeed is only going to work if this lever is down and this dead stop is up, because this is actually a switch here. If you look down below, there's a switch here, and it's very important. So I'm going to shut this off again. Also, when you lower this, it has a piece here that's got a threaded rod that has to screw into a hole that's in the back here. You want to lock this down nice and tight. And then you can fold it back out of the way. Over here, there's two adjustable stops. I'm just assuming that they're adjusted perfectly flat. They come up against this hard surface here, and this thing here will screw into that hole in the center. Well, that's the way that works. As far as, start this up again. Get our table going here. When I want my automatic infeed, this lever here starts the feed. And you'll hear the solenoid going off in the cabinet. When you go to push this, if your feed doesn't come on, you have to make sure that you have this stop engaged again. It will not come on if you don't have that in the right position. So right now, we're feeding with each reversal. The amount that that's feeding is adjustable with this control here. And these two knobs are what turn, you know, one side I could shut off right now. So if I shut this side off, we won't feed when we get there. And we're going to only feed on that side. Okay, or I can turn it back on. This is your table speed. This is a little planetary type of gear that you can you actually go up against your stop when you're at 0 and the feed is over, and if you need to go back a little bit, you reverse it, or if you need to want to take more off, then you go the opposite direction. This contraption mounted up here. This is a old Brown & Sharpe product. It's called an Electroline. I've never seen one that worked any longer, and it does not work. So that's why that's there. There are some parts that go here, the probes or the transducers. They would need to be sent off someplace along with this box to be completely restored. I'm sure that can be done. We will give you all that stuff, but in order to take this table apart and clean underneath the slide and underneath the ways, we had to remove those particular parts, so I did. There's a red line on here that you'll notice. It corresponds with the red line on this stop. That's about as far as you can put this stop and not damage this reader head. You got to be careful about that. You may just want to take this scale off completely. That's up to you. That's it. That's the Brown & Sharpe. That's the sight glass down here for the oil. It tells you what to use, a Vaculine 1409, and that's a oil that has a hydraulic fluid as well as a lubricating oil. It's a combination of both. You can fill it from there, but I recommend filling it from the back. There's an access thing on the back of the machine where you can actually see how much oil you have in there, because that gauge can be misleading. So there you have it. It's all ready to go. This is a Brown & Sharpe #1 cylindrical grinder. Thank you very much.